Hello everyone, my name is Mateo-Salvador. Welcome to Run8 Train Simulator. This is a game that released 10 years ago. 2009 I think, the first version of this game released. The third version of the game just released on January 25th of 2022. And I decided to pick it up. This game right here is what I wish Train Sim World and Train Simulator could have been. Minus the graphics, of course. One thing that this game has that Train Simulator doesn't, and I always wish that Train Simulator had more of this, was industries. Serviceable industries. In Train Sim World, there's too much of the same in my opinion. You maybe do some shunting, and then you take a train from one yard to another, and there's not really that much servicing industry. I think there might be some in the Clinchfield map, but there's not a lot of it. And this game has tons of industry to service. And there's free roaming in this game. There's multiplayer. There's a bunch of other things. There's also AI, which I think we have an AI somewhere. Oop. I'm going to turn on the AI dispatcher, which is right here. Auto. Auto is the AI dispatcher, which is apparently new in this game. I never had the previous versions of this game, so I don't really know. There's all this crazy stuff. This is basically the dispatcher map, and you can be a dispatcher if you wanted to while playing this. So if I had the dispatcher off, for example, you see up on the top, right, you have like those yellow boxes. I could flip switches if I wanted to. You have the red lights as well. These are basically the train lights, like that one, for example. And we are up here, which that light doesn't show up. So you can switch the train lights if you wanted to do, your own dispatching, which I think is really, really cool. But the way to read this, basically, just for future reference, is left to right, up and down. So you'll see Lopez right here. We're here in this train yard. We are about, I think, actually yes, we're here, about give or take right here. And then this right here, I think, is where this third track right here ends way down there. I think is this little section. And then we have this, and this is the UPS train line. It goes down this way, and it ends, if I could get this off of my screen, it ends at here, and it says A, and then it starts right here at A, goes down through here, which I have not been through here at all, goes here to B, and then ends here. It starts right here, and then goes down. Now you have C and D. C is the BNSF Sanborn to Barstow, and then you have the UPS Union Pacific South Pacific cutoff, which is right here. It's a really complicated map. I haven't really done much with it. I think we have an AI train that is approaching soon, which I think we can see it here somewhere. I don't have that enabled. No, it's not. But anyways, this video, I wanted to make it because of industry. This game has so much industry that you can service if you wanted to. You could also drive intermodal trains from one end of the map or to the other. You could also just free roam and do whatever the heck you want. This game literally is endless. And I wish Train Sim World was more like this, because it's such a beautiful game, Train Sim World, right? But they don't give you enough to do. They give you like maybe 2 locomotives, maybe a couple boxcars, some scenery, some scenarios, beautiful scenery, but they just really don't give you enough to do. And this game has a million things to do. I think that, this map here is some 120 miles long. It's very, very long, and there's a million industry to service. So, with that said, we are going to open up some menus just to help us out. Left control F8. I'm going to hit that 2 times. That gives us destination. So when we have a train car, it'll basically tell us the destination. We're going to hit Shift F8, which tells us mileposts, so we can see we're in Bakersfield. And then I'm going to hit Control F8, which is going to give me industry tags. Hit Shift F12, and we can now fly. Yes, you can walk in this game, just like Train Sim World. And yeah, it's great. Okay, so today we're going to be servicing this industry right here, Delta Lima Lima. These orange codes that you see here, KTS, Geo, these are the industries that can be serviced. Now, there are a million on the map. This is literally just down the road from the yard, which is just over there. And we have an industry right here called Delta Lima Lima. Now, the question is, what actually gets serviced here? Well, if we hit left control L, we'll open up this map. You can see industry configuration, industry cars. This map here basically tells you what is happening at an industry. and this is the code for that industry. So for example, if we look to Delta Lima Lima, here it is, Delta Lima Lima. Right here, it'll tell us what it needs. So it needs center beam flat cars. It takes 40 hours to unload, and you can store 3 cars within this yard. I think I stored 4. You can usually shimmy them in, and it produces empties. Now, what it means by producing empties is it takes a full car and it unloads it and makes it empty. That's basically all it means. Then once it finishes that, it gives you some outgoing codes. So this is where the industry wants it to go. Now, as for unloading cargo here, it's as easy as spawning in the train cars you need, loading them with cargo if they need to be loaded, and dropping them off here. The industry will automatically unload them for you. You just leave them here, you go about your day, you can drive around, do whatever you need, and once they get unloaded, they'll be ready to go. You can bring your train back, take them to wherever they need to go, and that's basically as simple as it really is. This game looks really complicated when you first get it, but it's fairly easy. So if we go back to Control L here and we look here at DLL, this is the Dixie Line Lumber, this just little siding here, and we can see a freight symbol Lima Charlie Alpha Lima 0103. And if we go to industry cars, you can see that we have Lima Cal 0103, and this will basically tell what is currently parked there. And I think that this code as well is for Geo, as well as KTS and IRS over there. But it basically tells you what cars are there, what are they doing, are they loaded, are they ready to go, what is their destination, and that's pretty much it. So this place right here needs loaded center beam cars. So let's go get some center beam cars loaded with cargo and park them here. Okay, so let's make ourselves a train. If you go into the sim options, consist menu, we go to freight locos. We have a couple locomotives here. If you have base game, the blue locos are the ones that you have. Since we're going to just be doing a local run, we'll get ourselves an SD40. What was the one that I used quite a bit? The SD42. I used the GP40 quite a bit, so we'll get ourselves a GP40. Let's delete that. Let's spawn this in just so that we can do some shunting and have a little bit of fun, and I can show you how that works. So there we go. We have a locomotive. If we click on it, it's now ours. You can see our conductor is there. If you want to go to another locomotive, let's say we had another locomotive sitting here, and for the record, I'm just going to spawn in another locomotive. Let's say, for example, we didn't want to run this loco, and instead we wanted to run this one. We click on it, and it says Free Agent Train. So in order to lose control of this train, we go up here, we hit Relinquish, and now the train is no longer yours. You can click on this one, and now this train is yours. You can see our conductor is now sitting there in the seat, and we can now take the locomotive and do whatever we need, and this locomotive currently is owned by nobody. So let's relinquish that and spawn in some freight cars. So we need 3 center beam cars in order to service Delta Lima Lima. So if we go here to center beam cars, we can spawn in, let's just spawn in 3 fancy cars. Let's delete that and let's add them. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to delete that. There we go. Place the train down. Voila. So now we have 3 empty cars here. And one thing I do realize is that they spawn in without the cables connected. You can see that these brake lines are unconnected, which is very important that you make sure that they do get connected. So how about we just walk here? Look, I'm walking. Yay. If you just hit F12, you'll walk at ground level instead of fly. So that's great. So if we go here, we can connect that. Let's make sure that the brake lines are also released. I like to leave at least one, especially if the train is light. That just makes sure Mateo can speak English. That just keeps the train from not rolling. Because if you have a very heavy train and you're sitting on a hill, your train will actually roll, and that's not good. Your brakes can catch on fire in this game, and you'll have to repair your locomotive, which I haven't done yet. I have broken a coupler. Your couplers can break if you smash them against anything, and it gets pretty graphic if they break. So that's something that's pretty cool with this game. All right, so now that the cars are kind of ready to go, let's load them up with cargo. We'll go into the tagger menu, control. Now we have access to all the cars, and we can load them with cargo. Now, one thing I do really like, if you just look over here, look at the suspension. Look at how the suspension rocks when you load a train up. If I could just go here. take a look how the suspension goes up and down when you load a train. I love that. Look at that suspension. That's just amazing. I love the fact that they have suspension on this. It's great. So if we were to take this train the way it is, currently it has no destination. We take it to Delta Lima Lima. Delta Lima Lima will not service these cars until it has the destination in the tag menu. So if we go here, we go to industry tags, we go here, find Delta Lima Lima. Now these cars have a destination on them, and the rail yard that Delta Lima Lima is at will service these train cars now when we put them there. As for the train itself, this is having the destination tag. Actually, hold on. Let me relinquish this. Oh, that's because I currently own the freight cars. Let me relinquish that and take a hold of the locomotive. We have a train tag here. This is very important if you are using AI Dispatcher, as the tag that you put here will basically tell the AI where you want to go. So for example, if we want to go to Bakersfield Yard, go to BAK, and the AI will know, okay, he wants to go to Bakersfield Yard. They will make sure that the switches, the electronic switches, let's see if we can find an electronic switch here. Like this one, for example. This is an electronic switch. The AI dispatcher will manually flip this for you. And if you have BAK, see, look, lock COT switch, you must ask the dispatcher first. Unlike a switch like this one, for example, where you click it and you can manually move it, those electronic switches are only moved either by the AI, or if you don't have AI enabled, in this map here. So yeah, that is very important. You don't really need it. In reality, you could probably just title this whatever you want to title it. In reality, you could name this whatever you wanted to. So if you wanted to name it like Mateo is Awesome, you could name it Mateo is Awesome, but the AI will not know where that is, so they will just have you go on a straight path to wherever they want you to go. They will just take you wherever. So, you know, if we have BAK here, it's going to know, okay, I want to go to Bakersfield Yard, and it will turn me on the track to go to Bakersfield if I'm coming from the other direction. So in that case, we're just going to leave this the way it is. If I tag this, is there a way to tag this? No. All right, so I'm just going to put DLL there for the sake of it, and now it has DLL. Well, let's get this train started up. This is an art in itself. If we go here, we can start the locomotive. You can hear it start up. There you go. So yeah, the locomotive has started. If we hit shift, I think it's control F11. Control F11 teleports us to the driver's seat. So now we're here in the driver's seat. W, you can adjust where you're sitting. If you do W, W goes forward, S goes backwards. That's the same for if you're looking this way. W goes backwards now, S goes forward. A will always move to the left, facing towards the front of the locomotive. D will always go right. And obviously, if you're backwards, A still goes in the same direction, which is this way, and D still goes towards the window. And you can, of course, open the windows. Now, this is something I didn't know until I was just testing out some controls. So when you open up a window, you can't close it just by clicking on it. You have to hit Shift, click, and now you can close the window, because I didn't know how it worked. And that's basically it. All right, so now that we have this locomotive, we need to get these two train cars here. Let's get the parking brake off, which I have my rail driver, which is really old, and I just found it the other day. Let's get the parking brake off. I've never really been a fan of the parking brake. I mean, it's perfectly fine, but we'll just have the parking brake off because we need it off in order to be able to move. Let's get the lights on. Let's get the brakes off. Actually, I'm going to open this up. There we go. Oh, wait. I need to do something real quick, because I just realized I didn't yet do this. I need to hit this to run, and I think that will be good right there. Okay, so now that that's done, I need to do this. And, of course, if you don't want to do any of this hand work where you're clicking buttons, you can just go into here. Auto MU, which is auto multiple unit, auto CB, auto AB, and it does literally everything for you. And auto start all locomotives if you don't want to do this. It'll automatically start it and put the ISO switch in run. So yeah, that's how that works. Very simple indeed. So now if we put it in first. Okay, so now if we go slowly, we will get this train connected. And something that's cool is if you hit F12, you're going to be walking. And this does come very helpful sometimes. You can get on the side of a train and ride. This can be very easy if you're doing shunting and stuff like that and you're not playing on multiplayer, because you can literally just stand here and watch the coupler as you're getting closer. So sometimes it does help out just a little bit. Alright, here we go. Let's... oops, I need to go a little bit further ahead. Okay, let's flip the switch here. Clicking on it, there we go, and we need to flip this one just over here. There we go. I think we have a train coming as well. There we go, we have a BNSF coming. One cool thing about the AI that this game has is they will actually honk at the streets. We have railroad crossings down there, and the AI will actually honk their horn, their train horns, at the streets, just as they would in real life, which was something that took me very much by surprise, because you don't normally see that in train simulators. Okay, let's get back on the train and get these cars hooked up. Now, if you do want to see all the controls and everything like that, you go up here to keyboard, and these are all your controls that you will have if you're playing with keyboard. So you can see your gauge light switch, for example, your brakes, everything that you'll need, or at least most of what you'll need, is in here. Really, the most important is probably throttle. Your reverser, which I think is just up here. Reverser, where's reverser? Here it is. So insert basically puts the reverser into forwards. Decrement basically puts it into neutral and reverse. And then, of course, we have the braking. Now, the parking brake, that's how to release the parking brake, which is basically... Do they really call it parking brake, though? I don't think they call it parking brake on trains, do they? Or maybe they do. And then, of course... Oops. Let's stop. Ooh! Oh, wow. Okay. So now that we're here, let's just get off of it so that we can observe what we're doing here. Okay. Move the train slowly, just so that we don't break the knuckle here. There we go. Now that is connected. That is closed. That is closed. Let's connect this. We'll open this up. Now, we need to basically put... we basically need to open up this brake line here, which is basically going to fill the rest of the train. Now, one thing we do want to make sure is that we don't open it up right away. If we open it up right away, it'll activate the PCS, which I think that's what it's called, right? Yes, the PCS is basically a... it's like a system that activates when you activate the emergency brake. So if you open it up here, the pressure that's in the train will get released to the cars so quickly, it'll think that you activated the emergency brake, and now you have to reset the PCS system, which is not what we want to do. So that's why we're going to open it up partially open it up, and now if we click on the car here, we can see BP, right where it says air brakes, is filling very slowly. And then once it gets full, we can open this up to full, and the train will no longer activate the emergency brake when we open it up. Full. There we go. And let's see. Does it open up all the way? No, it doesn't. That's fine. So now what we need to do is we need to go back here. We need to get the EOT device, which just is here, EOT, and we need to open this. Now, if you hear the whistling, that's how you know the EOT device is basically doing what it's supposed to be doing. Look at this train right here. Ooh, got some gondolas. Got some center beam cars. Got some... nice, look at that train. Oh, and it even has engines on the back as well. Wow, this is a long train here. Is that guy moving forward? I hope that guy stops. Usually the trains stop there before they move on to the main line, which if that's what he's going to do, that's a good thing. Oh, right. So basically the train is now ready to go. It does not hurt to make sure that everything is released. Let's release the parking brake because that wouldn't have been good. Oh, handbrake. There you go. Let's make sure all these are connected. There we go. Those are all good. Is this one good? This one looks good, but just want to make sure. That's good. That's good. Doesn't hurt to make sure that your train is ready to go, because you can derail in this game, and it's not pretty when you derail. Okay, that's good. That's good. Everything is pretty much ready to go. Let's see. What other things are here, by the way? Yes. Headlight switches. This is very important if you have multiple locomotives. You have class lights, which aren't really that important. I think if you're playing on a server, they might become important. That's the class lights, which they don't really use class lights anymore. On railroads nowadays, but that's not really too important. All right, well, now that we have the train all hooked up and everything like that, let's head off to DLL and deliver these loaded freight cars. Okay. Let's get the light switch on. Let's turn off the rear lights. Let's get the headlights on. There we go. And we can slowly head off. And one thing I love in this game is the physics of the train cars. I love how they sway back and forth when you're traveling on older track. That's something that I love it. That's something that they don't really have in Train Sim World when you're driving about. Sometimes they don't have cabin sway, and it's something that, like, oh man, I love cabin sway. I don't know. It's this extra detail of physics that is really, really cool, and just it makes it feel realistic when they have cabin sway. And they don't really have that in the train simulators, but this one has it. Look, you can actually see, you see the cabin swaying about. And if we look back, look how the freight cars are all swaying back and forth. I love that. That detail is amazing. Look at that. That's amazing. Alrighty. Let's see. We can fly around if we wanted to. Let's see. If I hit this, we can fly around. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. There we go. Look at that. Nice. Of course, our conductor's in there, and we're not there. No. By the way, I just realized something. Do we have an extra set of headlights right here? That does interest me a lot. Alright, so that train's just going to stay right there for right now. He's going to stay there for probably 10 minutes. They usually stay for about 10 minutes before moving on. This guy's going to continue. Now, we don't need to worry about switching these. Actually, we could switch this one just because I feel like it. There we go. The train will ride over this without derailing. That's what I've observed. Even though up here, if you go to the sim options, train options, switch derailments. I have yet to have a train derail on a switch. So I don't exactly know. Maybe I'm not in derailment conditions. I don't really know. Alrighty, let me get the gauge lights on while we're here. That just turns on the gauge lights. If we click that, it gets gauge lights on. Now, we do have a beacon switch, but it doesn't currently work. I hear it's apparently not implemented yet, so I guess they're probably going to end up doing that. We do have a street coming up, and the railroad crossings do close in this game, which, if you have watched my Farming Simulator series, you know that I talk about railroad crossings in probably every episode. Honk the horn. Stop, truck. That's something that Train Sim World doesn't really have in all their maps, is animated railroad crossings, which probably bugs me more than it should. Here, how about we just watch this railroad crossing? Look at that. Nice. Yay, awesome. Now the train is going to keep moving, so let's go into it. I guess we could just kind of glide down here, can't we? And we got a green light up ahead. I do believe we have another street up ahead, so we do have to be careful of that. So, it is Monday. Hopefully everybody's having a good week. This is a great game. I really recommend it so far. And they have a lot of DLCs out as well. This game has so much in it that the DLCs are actually worth the price. Unlike Train Sim World, where they give you like a beautiful DLC with barely anything, or they basically re-release a DLC. They released what do they call it? The New Journeys DLC, and basically, long story short, the New Journeys DLC is basically train reskins that were already mods with a couple scenarios. It's basically all it is. Sold at like $30. Yeah, sold at $30. Yep. Well, it's a shame. Train Sim World is beautiful. It's a great game, but it just... Excuse me. It has wasted potential. If this game could be implemented into Train Sim World, look like Train Sim World, it'd be great. You'd have the perfect train simulator. This and Train Sim World graphics. Because really, in this game, the only thing that's not great is the graphics. But there's so much for you to do that it's almost like, okay, you can have a beautiful train simulator with terrible graphics. Excuse me. You can have a beautiful train simulator with the world's best graphics, but it can be extremely boring. Or you could have a train simulator like this one that kind of has mediocre graphics with a million things to do. I don't know. I don't know, I suppose you have to choose what interests you, right? Graphics or activities. Alrighty, we're almost here at DLL. We will unload these 3 freight cars here, and we will unload them, which will take about 40 hours. But we're going to skip time because you can skip time right here. Which I learned that today is February 21st. You cannot skip time ahead of real life time. I've learned that in this game. So that is a shame. Alright, let's I think we can stop. Okay, we stopped a little bit far, but that's okay. Alright, let's put on those lights. For some reason we have wheel slip. You want, okay, there you go. Fix your wheel slip problem. Okay, let's just leave the train here. Annoy this little truck, this little truck driver. We'll annoy this truck that's sitting on the other side of the street. We're gonna run over here and flip the switch. Let me also put the train into neutral and flip the switch. Oh, it's not going to let me do it because there's another train currently. That's okay. We can remove the dispatcher, and that will allow us to flip the switch. So there you go. If for some reason you need to get into a siding and you can't flip the switch, you can briefly remove the driver, or remove the dispatcher, and it will allow you to flip the switch. Always make sure that you put the AI back because AI trains need to be rooted in certain places, and the AI dispatcher certainly helps with that. Alrighty, let's back this train up into the siding. Oh, that BNSF train is coming. You can hear him honking at the other street. I'm not sure if you can hear that, but I heard him. Alright, let's just be really careful. We're going 11 miles an hour, which actually, does this tell me how fast I'm going? Ah, it does. Look at that. So if you, I don't know what button it is. It's up on my horn for some reason. So on my rail driver, I have a horn switch. You can push it up, you can push it down. I'm not too sure what key it is, but it'll tell me my speed right here. Also tell me the length symbol. That's our destination. How heavy we are. I'm guessing that's loads. Couplers. That's probably the tension that a coupler has. Gradients. Track speed limit, and then off. So very interesting indeed. There is the BNSF train. Let's open up the siding so that he can go past without us blocking the way. There we go. You can hear the EOTD, end of train device. The EOTD is not very happy. All right, he is currently moving very slowly. So let's just open up this switch so that he can get through. And then we will activate the dispatcher again. And hopefully he'll be really happy with us. There we go. Activate the dispatcher. Now it's all there. And he will continue as he was originally going to. So now that the freight cars are here in DLL, let's uncouple them. Has multiple routings. Yeah, that's the AI dispatcher will figure this out. If the AI dispatcher doesn't figure it out, we could always hit Shift F2 and we could delete the locomotive ourselves. So 5459, we could delete it right here. But the AI dispatcher will usually figure it out. Okay, so now that we're done with this, let's put on a brake. And let's close that. Let's close that. Let's remove that and open the coupler. Open the coupler, and now we can move forward. There we go. The beautiful BNSF is slowly approaching. Okay, so now that that's done, there's something I needed to do. Yes, I needed to go get the EOTD because we don't need it anymore. And the cool thing is, If we close this, we take the EOTT, you can also have a flag. If you're maybe role-playing that you're driving an older railroad, or maybe you're just doing some shunting and you need to go from one place to another, and maybe you don't want to set up the OTD, you could just attach a flag, which I think is pretty cool detail. Of course, if you're shunting in a yard, you probably just have this. There is the BNSF slowly approaching with all those beautiful freight cars. He's got 4 engines here, plus 2 more in the back, so this guy's rolling heavy. UPS 5459 is clearly not being very happy. So I'm just going to delete this if I can do. Jeez. Garbage truck. Quiet down out there. Okay, so now that this is here, and we go into Control L, we can see in the industry car section on the freight symbol, which is LCal0103, we can now see the 3 lumber cars that we just released. So these are the 3 lumber cars that we just dropped off, and they will be unloading for the next 40 hours. If I go up here and I, let's say for example, move the time forward an hour, and we go back to this menu, you can see that they now have 39 hours. So that's how easy it is to basically service industry. Literally, it's just a matter of getting the cars, dropping them off, and bam, you're done. Look at that guy. He's going, where's he going to? Oh, he's going to Barstow. Look at that. Bakersfield to Barstow. Nice. Interesting. Where are, oh, they're all going to Barstow. Everything here is going to Barstow. And this UPS is still freaking out. Excuse me, Union Pacific, not UPS. Union Pacific is still losing. Look, he's honking at the street. Look at that. Love that detail. And we can, of course, change the train horns. If you hit Shift F3, Control F3, you can change the horn of your locomotive. So this is the train that we're currently in. We currently have the K3LA. We could change it to this one. And you can change the bell as well. Let's see. There we go. I like that horn personally. And you can, of course, do this with every locomotive in the game. So all of these are going to Barstow. And if you are new to the game and you don't really know the destination codes... Ooh, look at that one. Maybe you don't really know the destination codes yet. One good way to figure out the destination codes is there is a website called The Depot. I will have the link in the description for you. If you go to References and you go to Destination Tags, hit Southern California, here are all the yards you need to know. So as you can see, he is going to Barstow. Let's see where Barstow is. See, BAR is Barstow. BAK is Bakersfield. So if we're going to Bakersfield, you want to put BAK, and then the AI will know how to route you according to what you put here. This can be very helpful. And here are also all the industry tags. These are all the industries you can service in, I think, the California maps. There's a couple different maps that I don't currently have loaded in. And if you're new to the game, some of these industries might not exist in your game because you might not have the proper DLC. But these are all the industries. And so, for example, if I was to go here and I was to hit DLL, and we click this, we can see here's DLL. There it is. And look at how many cars you can actually put in here. So this is DLL. It'll show you what you need. And there you go. So this is, I'll have the link to this website in the description. It's really good if you're new to the game and you maybe don't know the codes. So yeah. Okay, so here we are. The train is stopping, which isn't helpful to anybody at all. There's the 2 other locomotives. Actually, one cool thing about this game is you can actually hop onto the train. You can hitch a ride. You can hitch a ride anywhere. We could actually hitch a ride onto the other engines if we wanted to. We could take over this train if we wanted to. The possibilities here are endless. As of right now, he's stopping at a red light because he needs to get permission from the AI controller to basically enter the main line. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Alrighty, let me just take the train forward a little bit so that we can continue and unload these cars, because I actually haven't seen it yet. Here we go. I'm just gonna pull forward just a little bit, and let's speed up time here. Let's see. I'm gonna speed up 2 days. There we go. And now the train has emptied itself. that sounds wrong. Basically the industry has now emptied so now the industry has emptied these freight cars, and you can see that they now have an industry tag up here, which basically means that these here, I think, where do these want to go if we look at our map? Let's see, where is FTW? FTW, interesting. I think this is on a map that doesn't exist. This might be on one of the other maps. Pass, let's see that one. These want to go to Pasco. Let's see. Why is FTW? Oh, wait. FTW maybe... Let's see. This wants to go to FTW. Let me click on this real quick. FTW. Where is FTW at? Fort Worth, probably. And that's probably off of the map, which is why I can't find it. Unless it's not on that list. I do know that the list is missing a couple. So actually, if I go here, maybe I can find it. Maybe it's a special one. Look, now you can see here, it's ready. And they are empty. So now it has a destination, and we can take them to the destination. Oh, FTW is not here. So I'm guessing it's probably in one of the other maps, or it's nowhere. I'm not really too sure. Okay, but yeah, basically that's how industry works. Very, very simple. That train's going to be chilling. Yeah. I have plans for this game. If you would like to see more of this, maybe you want to see me do like, I don't know, something fancy. Train has been removed. Really, 7351 has been removed. Why is that happening? But anyways, yeah, that's basically industry. It's really easy. You just go here. Now you can take these cars somewhere else, get them loaded, come back, drop them off. And same with the Geo, which those over there are for fuel tankers. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. If you want to see more, let me know. I am planning on doing, I don't know, I have a couple ideas for this game. And there is multiplayer, so that's a bunch of really cool stuff. But anyways, if you enjoyed this, thank you for watching. That's pretty much all industry is. It's that simple. And, of course, you could do some crazier industry runs where down there, if you go down this track onto the main line in about maybe 20 minutes that way, there are about 4 or 5 food factories that require empty boxcars. That right there can get pretty fun when it comes to shunting. I was probably there for about an hour shunting, and it was a good time. And I had AI trains passing me. I had a bunch of other things happening. It was really cool. So yeah, if you would like to see more, thank you for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. See you later. Peace.